Okay, I want to say hello to everybody that's been watching the YouTube channel. It's been quite a while since I had a new video out, and I got some new subscribers, so I know they're probably looking forward to some new material, and as well as my regular viewers. Sorry it's been so long. I've just had multiple things going on, and different things happening here in the shop. It's been some really fast-paced stuff, and as a general rule, I'm just here by myself, and so sometimes I just don't have the time required to do the videoing and take a lot of pictures and that sort of thing. So I kind of fell behind, but I've somewhat got caught back up here, and I've been working some also out of the shop. I do some custom work for people now and then that kind of specialized things. I've been working here recently on a recording studio. Fellows are building that, and of course, as many of you know, if you follow me on Google Plus or Facebook, I do play some music also, so I'm heavily involved with that. And that takes quite amount of time also, but at any rate, about got all this sorted out here, and get back to making some videos. I got a project here that I've just started. It's going to be pretty quick. The customer wants it as soon as possible, so I may not get to video each and every step of it, but I'm going to try to do most of it that I can. What it is a display case that's going in a car dealership in the next county up here. So they wanted a certain made a certain way, and it's going to be mostly glass, but it'd be a wood frame, top and bottom, and then frame around the glass with some glass doors. We're going to make a slot wall for the back, and I don't know how many people's familiar with that. You see that sort of thing, and they've got these slot wall pieces out now that you can buy, put in your garage, and what they do is put hooks in them. It puts you in the mind of an old pegboard wall, but these are a lot better because they're in a slot. It can go from one end to the other. Works really well. I couldn't obtain any slot wall board locally that was the size that I needed. I wasn't too much interested in piecing it. And most of that slot wall stuff is made out of MDF. Now you can get it with steel inserts. You can get a bit to cut slot wall in MDF and then put a steel insert in it from some of the tool companies. I saw some of those. What I'm going to do, because I need a custom size in the back of this thing, and I need it a little extra heavy. This is going in a car dealership, so there may be auto parts or what have you that they want to put on these racks or shelves in this, whatever they seem to fit to put in it. Anyway, I'm going to make the back piece out of 3/4 plywood, and then I'm going to make my own. I'm going to cut the grooves, and I'm going to attach pieces to that plywood and make my own slots. So what those pieces will wind up being is 3-inch wide, 3/4 inch maple strips. And they'll be the length of the display cabinet. They'll go from the bottom to the top. And I'll take either, I don't know, the dado blade on the table saw or cutter on the shaper. I've not decided yet exactly how I'm going to do it, and then we'll do that, and I'll try to video that as I do it for those pieces. But anyway, we'll cut those, and those will form the slots when we put them on, and we'll glue and screw them to the plywood with the proper amount of separation between each one. And we'll do that to all of those, and we'll make our own wallboard. The maple wood will give us the extra strength over the MDF, and then it'll all be attached, glued and screwed to the 3/4 inch plywood. So we're going to have an extremely strong wallboard, and then it'll be the size it would need. So I'm going to turn the camera around here. This will be a short video too. I went ahead and cut the plywood down to the sizes that I'm going to need for the back. And like I said, this display case is going to be 60 inches wide and 7 feet tall. So my wall pieces has got to be 60 inches wide, or almost 60 inches. That'll be the outside dimension. So, you know, if we have 3/4 inch of framing on each side of it, we'll wind up with about 58.5 inches of wallboard there. So anyhow, and it's 7 foot tall. So turn the plywood horizontal. That means we cut it 60 inches, and we had to have 2 pieces to make the 7 feet. So I'm going to put those 2 pieces together. And I didn't want to lose any strength, and they're going to be framing around it, so that would actually hold it together. But I didn't want to lose any strength when I put these together, and I considered splines and biscuits. I've got some shaper cutters that will cut a profile to put 2 pieces together. But 4 foot sheet of plywood is a little bit big to be over on the shaper with and running it. And then if you don't hold it perfectly still, perfectly flat, then it makes a place in it. So what I started to do was create a lap joint. And I've already did this on these 2 pieces of plywood. I did it earlier today. Excuse me. And I didn't have the camera down here. And it was making dust flying everywhere. I didn't have any dust collection hooked to the router, and it was a fogging everywhere. So I didn't video that. But I'm sure that the people of you knows what a lap joint is. And if not, just leave some comments, and I'll be more than happy to show how that works on a smaller piece, so I can demonstrate it if anybody's interested in it. But I'm sure most people that does woodworking or has done some has done a lap joint. So at any rate, I did a lap joint on this plywood, and we remember that this thing is 60 inches, so it's hard to clamp something that big. So what I'm going to do, I cut me out a board, and I'll turn the camera down here and show it to you. Let me go ahead and spin this around so we'll have it show up right here, and I can show you what I'm talking about. Get the camera just. Now this may be hard to see, but what this is right here, this is just a piece of plywood. I don't know, you know, a couple inches wide, 3 inches something. Now I don't know if the camera will see it or not, but what I've done was draw me a bow on this plywood on one edge of it. It's high in the center and it's down low on the end, so it's just an arc. Like I said, I don't know if you can see it, but if you set it down on the plywood, you can see that the piece of rock like this is the arc. So what we're going to do, you can buy these things. They call them beam clamps, maybe. I forget now what they're actually called if you was looking for them to buy them. I see these things, but sometimes I can't remember the names. But anyway, you can buy these things, and they're a lot better than this one. This was, like I said, this is a piece of scrap plywood I had laying out here. I only need to glue this one joint with it. So I cut the arc in it and fixed it here, and I'm going to use it to use my table and some clamps on the end, and I'm going to clamp it with this. Like I said, you can buy these, they're a lot better. I've even, I think somewhere along the internet, somewhere, I found somewhere where somebody had specs on them where you could cut them out and make your own. I think I saw those one time. But it's not a real complex thing. Of course, if you use a different wood or a bigger wood and you wanted to get it down perfectly, and then your arc would be a certain amount and it'd be a certain size and all that. All that is unnecessary for this one joint right here. Now, like I said, this thing is going to be framed, so that would hold it. But I want to make sure we didn't lose no more strength than necessary. And I felt like this lap joint glued that real good would be a lot stronger than, say, biscuits in it, or even a spline. Because at that, you still had the two ends trying to glue those together. Here, you got a whole lot more glue surface to glue on. So Now what we'll do is we'll put this lap joint together here. We'll clamp it up. Right, now we've got that on there, we're going to take this, what we'll call a clamp board. We're going to fix it on here, some clamps. And we're going to bow it down there, clamp it all together. Pretty good. We'll get that over there next to the joint, as close as we can. Let it give plenty of pressure. Let me want to move this camera just for the sake of some viewers that's never seen anything like this. I'm always taking for granted that people have saw this sort of thing that I do sometimes. See there, you can see the bow in that board. That's the arc in it where it's picked it up. See what we're doing here, we're creating this arc. Get her the camera back around here. We're creating this arc so when we clamp this thing on both ends, it gives us pressure in the middle. It's like we had clamps over here. So now, of course, we don't have any kind of clamp that reach in 30 inches, or I certainly do not. And I don't have a big veneer clamp, and this back is way too big to fit in my veneer press. So we're going to use it like this. So let me get another clamp on this thing before it gets in the dryer. There we go. Now we've got clamping pressure across the entire back. Now, as a general rule, it don't take massive amounts of pressure to clamp stuff anyway. So I think that'll be sufficient. Back out here. I think that'll be sufficient. I'm going to let this dry. And like I said, our next step when we come back and get started on this project again will be to go ahead and put the sides on it and start the framing for it. We get those on, then we can move the whole thing around. Even though we're going to use this lap joint, and I think that's a lot stronger joint than for a biscuit or a spline or something like that, we still don't want to pick this thing up and carry it around much without some framing in it around it, just to make sure, because we're only talking about an inch. I only got about an inch lap joint there, so that'll hold it well together, and I think it'll keep it from separating and keep it from bowing in the middle once we get the rest of it done. But we want to get the frame on it. You know, when we get the frame on, then we'll put the pieces on it to cut the pieces and put on it to do to do this, make the slot board out of it. So when we'll get that, we'll do the rest of the frame, get all that stuff measured out, and get the glass ordered and get in there. So we'll be using tempered glass, and locally here there's nobody where I can get it. I have to order it from the glass company locally here, so that'll take probably up to about 10 days. So at any rate, when I get started back on this project, we'll shoot some more, and I'll try to get this whole project shot. If I don't get too far behind, maybe I'll be able to do that, but try to shoot the whole project as I do it and get it on YouTube here for everybody to see. I want to say again, I appreciate everybody watching, and I hate that it's been so long. I hadn't even got to be on YouTube to look at other people's stuff very much myself, so been missing out on that. I really have. I certainly enjoy it. Anyway, thank you for watching, and keep tuning in. We'll get started again. Thank you.